Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make your own vegan candy bars. I asked you guys on Instagram which famous candy bars you would like me to replicate, and the top choices were peanut butter cups, Almond Joys, and Snickers. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Making your own candy bars is actually pretty dang simple, and it's a lot better for you too, because unlike traditional candy bars, these are free from dairy, don't have any preservatives, and don't have any artificial colors or flavors in them too. So they still taste delicious, but they're not made of weird chemicals. This video is also part of my monthly collaboration with Jasmine and Chris of Sweet Simple Vegan. After you finish watching my video and drooling over my candy bars, I will link their video below and go over to their channel and check it out. They made you guys some amazing looking double chocolate brownie cookies with pistachios. I didn't even know brownie cookies existed, but now that I know they do, I want one really, really bad. Finally, don't forget to vote in the top corner of your screen right up here which recipe you want us to make next this month, or should I say next month. This month you're voting for our theme of veganizing either a childhood favorite or a menu item from a restaurant of our choosing. That's it for now, so let's get into the recipes. That was really weird. Let's just roll with it. First, I'm going to show you how to make some peanut butter cups. So to start out, we're going to melt some chocolate. I'm just using the microwave to melt my chocolate, but you can use a double boiler if you want, and you have tons of options when it comes to chocolate. I personally like to use these brands from Eating Evolved or Hue Kitchen because they're sweetened with coconut sugar, but I also really like these Picari chocolates. They are organic and fair trade. You can also just use vegan chocolate chips, or you can make your own chocolate using coconut oil. But anyways, to melt regular chocolate, you're just going to pop it in the microwave at 30-second intervals and just keep on stirring it, and just repeat this process until the chocolate is about 75% melted. Then you're just going to stir it until all of the clumps dissolve or melt. I guess they don't dissolve. But anyways, once you have a smooth chocolate, we're going to line a mini muffin tin with some liners, and then I put about half of a tablespoon of the melted chocolate in the bottom of each liner. Then you're just going to pop these in the freezer for 10 minutes to harden, and in the meantime, you're also going to put your peanut butter in the freezer too. As you can see here, I'm using natural peanut butter, which is a little bit runny, so it will harden more when you put it in the freezer. And I'd also just added some peanuts to make it a little more interesting and crunchy. As you can see here, the peanut butter is a lot easier to deal with. But you're just going to add about a teaspoon of the peanut butter to the center of each of the cups. Then you can just pop this in the freezer as you melt the chocolate to put on top of it. And then once the chocolate's melted, you're just going to cover your peanut butter cups. And I also use my fingers to spread it out, and you could keep these plain, but I also wanted to make it slightly more fancy, so I covered half of mine with a sprinkle of cacao nibs for a little bit of an extra crunch. And then I also added some sea salt as well. You could top it with really whatever you want, like pretzel pieces. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, once you're done, you're just going to pop these back in the freezer until they harden. And then once they're hardened, you can unwrap them like a standard peanut butter cup, and you are good to go. This recipe makes 12 mini cups in total, but you can also use it with a regular muffin tin. You'll just make less cups, and you'll probably need more peanut butter and chocolate in the filling. Up next, we're going to be making some Almond Joy Bars. This is actually one of my favorite candies growing up. Let me know in the comments below if it was yours too. So the filling is actually really, really easy. We're just going to need some shredded coconut and some melted coconut butter. This is going to make our filling, but we're also just going to add a touch of sweetness by adding some maple syrup and some vanilla extract with a tiny pinch of salt too, because all desserts are better with salt. Anyways, you're just going to mix this together until everything is well incorporated and it's nice and uniform. And then you're just going to put it in a narrow pan. I'm actually using a liner for one of my bento boxes, but you could use a narrow bread pan or a narrow Tupperware. It really doesn't matter, just something narrow like candy bar length. Next, we're going to take some whole almonds, like in a traditional Almond Joy Bar, and just place them in the dough or filling, I guess. Each candy bar should have 2. So after you've placed your almonds in, you can just pop this in the freezer for a few minutes, and then once it's hardened, you can remove it, and then you're just going to use a knife to slice your candy bars. So as you can see, this made 8 bars for me, and I wanted to say if your bar breaks, like you can see there, you can just press it back together and it will still stick together and be totally fine. So again, you're just going to pop these back in the freezer while you melt your chocolate, and then after you've melted your chocolate, the neatest way to coat these bars is to use a bowl with a wide base and to use 2 forks and roll it around in your chocolate, and then pick the bar up and let any extra chocolate drip off. And then afterwards, you can just place this on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, or just a plate lined with parchment paper. And then you're just going to repeat this with the rest of your bars until you have all of them done, and just pop them in the freezer until they harden. And that is it. This is the inside shot. These are really good, and can't believe how simple they are to make too. Last but certainly not least, we're going to make some vegan Snickers. Snickers was my absolute favorite candy bar. I liked Almond Joy, but Snickers is like a whole other level, guys, and these taste so much like the original. So first we're going to soak some dates in some water just to soften them up for a bit, and then after they have soaked, we're going to make a date caramel. So you're going to drain them and add them to a food processor with a little bit of peanut butter, some maca powder. This is optional, but it adds a caramel flavor. And then, like I said, salt makes everything better. So we're also gonna add a little salt and just blend that together. You may have to press the mixture down into the base of the food processor or blender a bit, but eventually you should get a pretty thick caramel like you can see here. So you're just going to take that out of the food processor and then add some oat flour and only 1/4 of a cup of the caramel to the food processor again. And you're just going to combine this until a sort of sticky dough forms. And this is what's going to make the nougat for our bars. So when we're ready to make our bars, first we're going to press our nougat layer into the base evenly, and then we're just going to spread the remaining date caramel on top of that. And last but not least, we can't forget the peanuts in the Snickers bar. So I'm sprinkling some peanuts on top, and then I am just using my fingers to press it into the caramel. Then you're just going to pop that in the freezer for a little bit. And then afterwards, I would actually suggest lining your thing with parchment paper because this was a little hard to remove, but you can do you. And just slice this into even bars. And again, this made 8 for me, and I just popped that in the freezer again while I melted my chocolate. And then using the same process as I did for the Almond Joy bars, I just rolled each of the Snickers bars in the melted chocolate, picked it out, and then put it on a plate lined with parchment paper. And just repeat this until all of your bars are evenly coated. And pop them in the freezer to let them harden, and then you can enjoy. Also, for the record, all of these candy bars can be stored in the fridge for best results. If you keep them in the freezer, you'll want to let them soften for a few minutes before you eat them. And that's it for this video, guys. If you make any of these recipes and you decide to post it, you should post it on Instagram and tag me in the photo, because honestly, that's probably one of the things that makes me the most happy. When you guys remake my recipes and you tell me that you love them, just warms my little heart. Also, don't forget to check out Jasmine and Chris's video for their double chocolate brownie cookies with pistachios. It's a long recipe title, but it looks like it's going to be a delicious one, and I seriously wish that I was in California so I could eat their food a lot of the time. Basically every time they post a recipe, I wish that. But go check that out, and also don't forget to vote in the theme for our next monthly collaboration. If this is your first time watching one of my videos and you like what you see here, feel free to hit that little subscribe button right down there. I post 2 new videos every single week, so you know, you can join in the fun. I don't really have a name for you guys. Do I need a name for you guys? I don't want this to seem like some cult or fan club, but I feel like other YouTube channels have a name that they call their subscribers. So if you guys have any ideas for that, let me know down below too. Or if it's just weird, you can tell me that too. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next video, hopefully, if you chose to click subscribe. Bye!